So I've been threatening to make this video for the last few weeks, and in today's video I'm going to be discussing refurbishment costs for residential properties. For first-time viewers, my name is Shane Fleming. I'm a chartered property consultant. I have over 16 years experience and I have been running my own consultancy for nearly the last 4 years. If this is your first time to the channel, I generally discuss property related topics and investing as well. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe to the channel now. To be open, my experience is in actual valuation, commercial, landlord and tenant regulations, rent reviews, acquisitions and sales, as well as a lot of development appraisals. I'm not a QS. For those of you who don't know what a QS is a quantity surveyor, and a QS specializes in building costs. It's not my specialty, but I do work with a number of QSs and I have done for a number of years. And when I am involved in large-scale development appraisals, I generally advise my clients to use QSs when we are looking at development appraisals. So just to clarify, my speciality is not building costs, but I do understand it in a reasonable amount because I have to carry out a lot of development appraisals, and in those development appraisals I have to include building costs. And in my acquisition role, I am involved with a number of properties or projects that required a large amount of refurbishment work as well. I'm going to break this video down into 3 sections. Part 1, the overall refurbishment costs on an average. Part 2, the elements that are required within a complete refurbishment for a residential project. And Part 3, a project that I looked at recently just to show the differences between the quotes we received. But again, as I'm not a QS, I am going to ask a QS to actually review this video and provide some feedback. I'm going to ask Shay from Houses to Restore Ireland over on Instagram to see if he can critically review this video, and maybe we might create another video with House Prices to Restore Ireland with the view on costs and some follow-up on this video. Part 1, average refurbishment costs for an entire home renovation. Costs will generally average between €1,000 to €1,500 per square metre for an entire house renovation. A kitchen can cost anywhere between 8 to 10,000, and bathrooms can cost anywhere between 2,500 to 10,000. But again, you can spend way more or way less than this depending on what you require. The average cost for an extension can be around 2,000 to 2,500 per square meters, but you can spend again a lot less or a lot more on this depending on your overall design. On average, existing houses, say for 100 square meters, you can spend anywhere between 100 to 150,000 on a full refurbishment, assuming the walls and roof are in good condition. If you are, say, adding an extension of 40 square meters, you could be looking at costs of about 80 to 100,000 extra in costs for an extension. So they are the averages. So maybe perhaps Houses to Restore Ireland might actually want to put in a comment here and might want to let us know what they believe would be the averages. But again, you can spend a hell of a lot more or a hell of a lot less depending on your design. So part 2, let's break down the costs of refurbishing a 100 square metre home in Dublin that needs total refurbishment. First up, you have your prelims, which would be your hoarding, your scaffolding, insurance. That could cost anywhere from 10,000 to 14,000. Then you will have to demolish parts of the existing house. You may have to remove plasterwork back to brick. You may have to remove some of the plasterwork from the ceiling. You may have to do some excavation from the floor, or if you need any excavation from an extension. And all of this will have to be removed as well. And this could cost anywhere from 20 to 30,000. A lot of old buildings have drainage issues, and those drainage issues could be due to old clay pipes that need to be replaced or removed. Especially they might need to be diverted if you're doing an extension. So you should allow anywhere between 4 to 5,000 for this. Roof replacements could cost anywhere between 20 to 25,000 depending on the actual roof itself. New windows and door systems throughout a whole house could cost anywhere between 20,000, but again, you can spend a hell of a lot more than this if you wanted to. As I mentioned before, kitchens can cost anywhere from 8 to 12,000, but again, you can spend more depending on your spec. A lot of old buildings have suspended timber floors and there's really nothing under these floorboards, so generally speaking, you may have to replace the floors. And assuming that you're actually going to put in concrete floors with underground heating throughout the entire house, this could cost anywhere between kind of 30 to 40,000. But remember, that's your concrete floors and your heating, your underground heating. Bathrooms can range anywhere from 2,500 to 8,000 plus, depending on the size and design of your bathroom. But trust me on this one, you can spend a lot more on your bathroom if you wanted to. Rewiring a house for electricity could range from about 15,000 to 17,000 depending on the actual house. Replastering an entire house internally could range from about 15 to 20,000 depending on the work that's required. All new internal skirtings, doors and architraves could cost around 5,000. You should also allow a sum in your budget for landscaping, insulation of the attic, removing any asbestos that you might find on the property, as well as floor finishing and some other finishing that you may need. So that's taking that as an average sum, and all those as an average sum. We're talking around 150,000 for a house that's 100 square meters in Dublin, and that's including stripping out, back to plaster work, putting in a new concrete floor, replacing the roof. But perhaps maybe House to Restore Ireland may want to share some of their views here and share some insight on what they believe might be the actual cost as well. The final part of this video will be a quick review of a project that I looked at with Christine recently. We were very far down the line on this one actually, and we were in legals and we actually had a planning pack ready to go as well. But we decided we had to walk away due to legal issues and timing concerns around the closing. We were planning to totally gut this house, strip it back, the brick all the way back, or the plaster all the way back to the brick. We were going to knock down the kitchen and the bathroom and outhouses as well. We were planning to build a new extension around 40 square meters with new kitchen and bathroom and new study. We were putting in concrete floors on the ground level, underground heating. We were going to have to rewire the house as well, new doors, windows. We were going to plan a number of skylights as well. It was also looking that we were probably going to have to replace the roof, and we were planning to remove some of the chimney breasts as well to create more room downstairs too. We got great design help from Rachel Carmody Architects, and we designed a very open plan space that could actually be sectioned off with removable walls or movable walls, and we were also getting great height within a lot of the rooms as well. And the study we designed actually had double height, and we were designing in a lot of skylights within the bathroom, the kitchen and the study, and they would have actually been a great feature. So have a guess, how much were we quoted for all of this work? I'll give you a second or two, have a guess, put in your comments. But we were quoted 350,000 plus VAT, but this quote also included built-in wardrobes, landscaping and some very high-end finishes. But we did feel that we could do some of the strip out work ourselves, which I said was about 30,000. We felt we could do some of that ourselves, and we felt that we would get other savings elsewhere. And we could get it all done for about 210,000 plus VAT. This didn't include professional fees that we were going to require for the planning permission, for the extension. But I felt, as I worked in the industry and I would be very active within the management of the project itself, that we could further reduce the cost, and we could probably reduce the cost from 350,000 down to at least 210,000, and we possibly could make more savings depending on the spec that we went after. But I was thinking that when we got quotes in from for the project, once we had planning permission, quotes would probably range from anywhere between 250,000 to 300,000. But I'm not saying all quotes are equal, because sometimes you do get what you pay for. Perhaps Houses to Restore Ireland could give me their view on what I might have had to spend on this project if it did go ahead as well. Disappointingly, in the end, we had to walk away due to legal reasons and some concerns we had on timing of closing. I hope this video gave you some insight into what it's involved to refurbish a house and also what the costs are as well. Perhaps I might do a follow-up video on this one, so if you do have any questions, make sure you put them in the comments below. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and if you're not already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. And as always, thanks for watching.